welcome to the Art of Decluttering podcast. I'm your host, Amy Revell, and I'm here to help you live more intentionally, declutter what you don't love, need, and use, and organize so that you can find things easily. Obviously, have a podcast and do that through the podcast. There is like 340 episodes. So you can go back and get your decluttering fix. Jump over to my website, which is theartofdecluttering.com.au. And while you're there, you can check out our in-home services. You can buy a copy of my book. You can listen to the podcast. What else can you do? You can have a read of some client reviews. That's something else you can do. What I'm going to do today is we're talking about hats and glasses. But before I start, I want to share a review. And thank you to everyone who has left an Apple Podcast specific review. That's what I'm opening today. So I'm going to read two out for you. So the first one is called Long-Term Listener by North Taswegia. And it's a 5-star review titled, I'm a long-term listener of the Art of Decluttering. It's been one of my fave pods for a long time, and I look forward to a new episode dropping each week. Amy is my favorite presenter, and I'm excited to follow her solo journey. So thank you, North Taswegia. And the next review is also a 5-star review. In fact, they're all 5-star reviews, but it feels good to say it. This is by life.styled, and it says, the beginning of my decluttering journey. This podcast really changed my life. I started listening to this podcast 3 years ago when I was diagnosed with postnatal depression, just when COVID appeared. Feeling isolated and locked away, I started to declutter my home and started to feel lighter and happier. Decluttering never ends, but it does get easier, and I couldn't have done it without the art of decluttering. Thank you, life.styled. I'm sorry that you had PND. I'm glad that decluttering did start to help you feel lighter and happier. And today's decluttering is brought to you by hats and glasses. One of these categories I have very few items of, and one I have quite a few. So why don't we start with hats? I always kind of felt like, as a mum of boys, that there would be hats everywhere and I would have hat-wearing kids. And I really haven't until recently, when Elijah has started to wear a basketball hat. I would love to be able to tell you what the team is. It's green, Celtic something maybe. I think someone will know. Someone will be listening and screaming at me in the other end. He wears that sometimes, but my boys are not like a big hat wearers. So I'll tell you a little bit about their hat storage in a minute, but I want to talk to you about why having too many hats and too many glasses and all that type of thing is annoying, and how you can actually use better what you have. So one of the things with hats is we tend to just not have a home for them, or if you do have a home for them, it's not organized, and so then it's really hard to find the hats that you need, or when you need it, like when you're running out the door, you're like, oh, I would have liked to have put a hat on, but there's just a basket of crumpled, a bit not quite right, the brim is like folded in one side, or the hat's dirty, or you don't like the claspy bit at the back. And so it's actually to your benefit to only keep hats that you really love, but to keep them in a way that you can grab one, chuck it on either when you need it or when you want to. So in our house, what we have is the boys each have a hat wall, and effectively the hat wall is just behind their bedroom doors, in that tiny little gap between the door and the wardrobe. I've just put staggered hooks. So I think there's probably 8 to 10 hooks. And on each of those hooks, you can hang a hat. I mean, you can hang anything on them, but that's what they're designed for, is to hang a hat on. And so they've had those since they were little. So there's been school hats, there's been basketball hats, there's been footy hats. At one stage, Elijah had a beautiful like Nordic hat that he's kept on there. So this is just like, for us, that's where the kids' hats live. They're fashion hats, they're school hats, they're I'm going down to play cricket hat. It's every hat that you own as a child goes on that wall. It's been a bit harder for Cal and I. We've never really had hat storage for the two of us, partly because I'm not a hat wearer. I really despise wearing hats. I have a dark hair and thick hair, and so my head is already hot at all times. And so I hate wearing hats because it just makes my head hot and itchy. I have one summer hat. For me, when that hat dies, I'll buy a new summer hat. I'm a one hat owner, and I intend on keeping it that way. I don't like hats. I don't want to have hats. I don't have race hats. I just have one hat. I wear it when it's hot and I'm at the beach and that's it. Cal's got a couple of hats. And so what we've done for Cal is we've actually, our front door, we have hooks, and that's where we put like the kids' school bags or my handbag. And on his hook, he tends to keep his hat. And that's because he's a walker and he will go out for a walk almost every day. And he finds just being able to grab that hat off the hook and go is really good. And as someone that has had skin cancer removed, it's really important for him to have a hat on to protect his skin from the sun. And so I would get like super cranky if he went for a walk and didn't wear a hat. I'd be like, come on, you should know better. You're a skin cancer survivor, and I'd carry on. Now we never have that conversation because the hat sits at the door. One of the things I've noticed with boys is, and this, I'm sure this is the same with girls, I just don't have girls, is that the hats get super sweaty and there becomes like a sweat line on the hats. And so one of the great things to do is once you realize you've got a hat in that condition, throw it in the washing machine or soak it and then hand wash it, or do something to actually bring that hat back to life, because otherwise that hat is going to fall to the bottom of the hat pile of which ones you're going to pick when you go out. And my observation when working with clients is that most people, I would say almost all people, have a hierarchy of hat preference. And so they will always go to their favorite, and then they'll go to the second, and then they'll go to the third. And after about that, the hats just sit there. So find what you have. If you need to wash your favorite, do that. And then just get rid of the ones that you're not using, because then your storage becomes easier. If you only have 3 hats, it is much easier to store than if you've got 15 that you don't really use, particularly if they're like commercial hats, like you've been given them. I know a lot of people that are Bunnings people will have like a Reese hat and a Bunnings hat and a whatever hat that is a construction company they've worked with, because it's promo material. If you're not going to wear that hat again after you're off the job site, it's a great idea just to donate it, get rid of it, pass it on, let somebody else love it. I question people who have, you know how you drive behind a car, usually a Volvo, and there's 2 hats on like that back carriage area in a sedan. I really question whether or not those people ever use those hats, or whether they put them there because they think they will and they don't. But I'm not adverse to having a cap in the back of the car, so that if you do a quick little, I'm going to go for a walk or I'm going to the beach quickly, there is a backup option. So I'm like anti putting the wide brim hats on that little shelf at the back, but I understand why you would have a cap in the car just in case. So hats, declutter what you don't need, store well what you do need. Let's go to a quick ad break, and then I'm going to talk to you about glasses, which I am much more invested in because I have a whole lot more of them. I'll be back before you know it. All right, let's talk glasses, because I am a glasses wearer. And so it's sunglasses, prescription glasses. If you're someone who wears, I think, what are they called? I was going to call them comic glasses, but that's definitely not what they're called. It's like when you wear costume jewelry, like costume glasses maybe, that they just have glass in them instead of a prescription. Glasses breed. Like genuinely, I go to people's houses and the spare drawer has glasses in them, the medicine box has glasses in them, the bedside table has glasses in them, there's one in the desk drawer. There's just glasses everywhere. And here's my theory, is that when we were all at the stage as a society where you only bought one pair of glasses at a time, and the only reason you changed your glasses was because your script changed, I think we were much better at not losing our glasses. I feel like that was a season of society where glasses were more treasured, because what I found, this is personal, so this is a bit of this.
Yes.
Of what I need to do myself, is that when we buy, like each year, you go and you get your new glasses because the frame size has changed and you want now big ones or little ones or tortoise ones or bright red ones, is the case with me. That the more you have, the more often you lose them. It's like having the 2-for-1 or having like multiple glasses is a self-fulfilling prophecy of losing them. Because you think, well, I'm going to get 2 pairs because I do sometimes lose my glasses. But the more glasses that you have, the more likely it is that you're going to misplace them. And that's what I find. At the moment, I've got 3 pairs of glasses that are on rotate, and more often than not, I don't know where 2 of them are, and I have one on my face. So at the moment, I'm wearing my third backup pair because I can't find the other ones. In fact, as I'm saying that, I've just realized that there is a pair sitting on my desk that I didn't put away in its case. So I'm just getting annoyed at myself just looking at that, because I literally was looking for my glasses about 15 minutes ago, and now I've found there's a pair on my face and a pair on my desk. Anyway, sidebar. Get rid of any glasses that are not the right prescription. I don't know why we keep them. I think we feel like there should be a correct disposal method. So I have done a community service good deed for all of us, and I have logged onto what is Australia's biggest optometry franchise, Specsavers, and I have found that they do actually accept your old glasses, and they will donate them to a company that will take them overseas and give them to people who need them. So if you have been thinking, oh my gosh, I've got all these glasses, I don't know what to do with them, your local shopping centre, find an optometrist and ask them, do you take secondhand glasses, and donate them, because you're not going to go back and wear them. And even if your script changes, you're probably not going back to small square frames. Or if you do, you're just going to buy a new pair because you get a 2-for-1 when you get your next pair anyway. So my recommendation is do not have any glasses that are not current script or that you wouldn't wear out as a backup pair. Because what are the chances that you're going to lose or squash all 3 or 4 of your current glasses? Not very high. Let's donate them. Then I want to talk to you about where you're going to keep your glasses, because I think this might be part of the problem. If you don't have a home where all of your glasses are meant to live, then you're never going to know where they are. It's like people who always lose their keys. The trick is actually just to have a spot right inside the door where you always put your keys, and then you're not losing them. So we have actually, in the last couple of years, developed a glasses container for us. And it just lives, ironically, in the drink glasses cupboard. So glasses and glasses all go together. And it is a container where every pair of sunglasses, every pair of glasses that are our backups, cases, glasses cleaner, glass cleaner cloths, they all live in there together. And so when I am, like today, onto my 3rd backup pair, when I finish this recording and I take this pair off and I put it in its case, I'm going to return it to the glasses box. And we have found that to be really helpful. I did discover, dobbing Cal in here, that I was putting something in his bedside drawer the other day, and I noticed that he has an old pair of glasses just hanging out in there. So I'm going to talk to him. He's at the shops at the moment. When he gets home, I'm going to talk to him about that pair. And then we're going to do a little bit of a glasses organise, an assessment, and go through what we don't need, because
I said yes.
I'm convicted that I need to do something about this. I have one caveat to where you're going to store your glasses, and that is your sunglasses. Like, I find it really helpful. I have 2 pairs of sunglasses, and I just keep one in each car. So I don't keep any of my sunglasses inside the house. I don't keep any in my handbag. I simply keep one in each car, and that's what I find is helpful. I wear them when I'm driving, or I drive somewhere and then I need them. What I found is I was really excited when I bought Cal a new car a couple of years ago, and he had like the fancy little push button where you can put your sunglasses in and then it goes back up again near the internal lights. My car does not have that. My car's quite a bit older, and so the sunnies sit in their case in the center console. So I've been using Cal's one. He doesn't keep his sunglasses in there, probably because mine are always in there, but they get super hot. So on a hot day, which is when you're much more likely to need your sunglasses, the issue is I take them out and they burn my face. And so I don't know whether I should get a case from our glasses container and replace, how I store them and move them into a case somewhere in the car, or whether I should just, I don't know, do I put up with it? Tell me what to do, because at the moment I put up with it, but I take them out and then I have to hold them in front of the air conditioner for a minute, and then I swap, and then I put my spectacles, like my prescription glasses, in there where I've taken out the sunglasses. But then when I stop and I need to swap back, I have to do the same thing again, and I have to cool them down. And I know, first world problem, just letting you know that's how it works for me. There you go. Glasses and hats. You guys have been amazing tracking along for the last couple of episodes when it's just me monologuing to you. I want to give you a couple of updates. Last episode, we talked about vouchers, and I said that I had a red balloon voucher that needed to be used. Good news, I have purchased a smash room experience for Cal and I. I'm super excited about it. He's really confused by it. He's one of the most non-angry people you're ever going to meet. When I told him about it, I was like, babe, it's the best. Like, you can get all your anger out. He goes, I don't get it. Why am I angry? And I was like, but you just channel whoever it is that's making you angry, or whatever the situation is that's making you angry, and you smash it out on plates and cups. And he's like, but what if I'm not angry on the day that we go? And I was like, oh my gosh, you just don't get it. Jesse, my eldest, did ask if he could sub in. So I'm tempted to take him. I wonder if it's a little bit of my Greek heritage. Like smashing plates just sounds like a whole lot of fun. So yes, checking back in, that's my accountability for that. Also, just a quick check-in on the experiment. The Diet Coke cans have not been moved, and we are still accumulating them. I think what's going to happen is they're going to continue to accumulate until we have guests that Cal wants to not seem like we're filthy home owners and have empty Diet Coke cans on the windowsill. I think it's going to be that triggers them coming down, or he's going to listen to a podcast episode and realize I'm running an experiment on him. Then he's going to take them down because he's just annoyed that I told everybody. So we'll see which happens first. At the moment, they're existing. No conversation is had about them. If he asks me about it, I just totally change the subject. So I'm interested to see how long it lasts. I will continue to report back. But today, go and declutter your glasses and your hats. If you're feeling like super amazing, take a photo, pop it in the Facebook community, and show me what you're decluttering. I'm going to go declutter mine, and I will see you in a few days. Thank you so much for traveling through January with me. I will speak to you soon. Bye. I would like to acknowledge the Wurundjeri people, who are the traditional custodians of the land this podcast is recorded on. I would also like to pay respects to their elders, both past and present, of the Kulin Nation, and extend that respect to other Indigenous Australians. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you enjoyed today's episode, I would love you to rate and review the show on your podcast app. That will help others to find the Art of Decluttering podcast as well. If you'd like any more information, you can visit theartofdecluttering.com.au, and I would love to see you in my Facebook group. Just search the Art of Decluttering community on Facebook and join today. I hope that you have an incredible rest of your day and enjoy the freedom.